what's up, guys? Welcome to this webinar. If you guys have any questions or anything, put them in the chat. I'll come back and forward to them. And let's crack on. Let's crack. So, Jess, thumbs to my screen or thumbs down? Oh, Jenna, thank you, Jenna. Jess is doing half a job there. All right. She's too busy checking her lipstick's good. Okay, so welcome to this mini strategy. I'm very excited to share this with you because I haven't seen this anywhere. And some of my clients, or some of us, on this call, and I haven't told them this yet. They're very excited for it. Um, I'm surprised I've seen it anywhere yet. I've got a feeling that in the next 6 to 12 months, what I'm going to show you today will be everywhere. So you guys that are here are going to be ahead of the curve. You're going to be saving so much time. You're going to be making progress towards your goals even quicker and with less. Right. Okay, so we're going to talk about today how to stop wasting time, energy, and food on meal plans that don't fit your life. Oh, I'm also going to keep letting people in. And your line is a bit crackly. Is mine crackly? Jenna can't hear me. Okay. Yeah. Right. What can I about this then? Because maybe I can go off my phone. The line's crackling. Don't record me. I'm going to record then. Great. I'm important. I'm going to move. I have to. Normally this room is pretty good. That's why I chose it. You know, gloves to test. So let's go. You guys come with me. I'm exiting off because electricity. Okay. Appreciate you. So you know it's like because it's fun. So yeah, so it's not. Just back in here. Is this better?
Try and talk for a bit longer.
Hello, hello, hello. I don't really know what to say.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you're
that's
good.
clearer.
Okay, fab. Let's try again. Set up. This is not the right angle, and my lighting's off and everything now. But hey ho, we're just gonna ride with it. All right. Oh. Start again, shall we? Okay, we're starting again. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Smart My New Strategy Day 1. We're going to teach you how to stop wasting time, energy, and food on meal plans that do not fit your life. Put in the chat, how many of you guys have tried a meal plan before? Whether this is something that you've downloaded, something that someone's written for you, something that you've created yourself. Who's used some sort of meal plan? Yes, Sam. Yes, Marie. I have also Amy. All of the above, says Lorna. Tony has. Yeah, I think like the majority of us have, right? And there's several problems with meal plans, but one of the problems for me is that when you're given a meal plan, like from a coach, for example, or you download one, and yes, right, let's say that you do lose weight on it, you have to eat that for the rest of your life because you have not learned about the foods, how react to your body, and all of the nutritional value. So you either eat this for the rest of your life or you gain your weight back. that kind of seems like the ultimatum. And obviously, you don't have the flexibility to eat out, right? You're like, well, I have to eat this. I can't go out with my partner. I can't go out with the kids. I can't go out with my friends because I'm off plan. And a lot of people that we work with are very all or nothing. They're either like on the plan or they're like way, way, way off the plan, falling backwards. So that is something we work with our clients, but um, generally when they come to us, they have that mentality. So let's. This is a new apps here. I struggle with clicking forward on this, but let's crack on. So why does planning feel harder than it should? So meal planning shouldn't feel hard, right? Because you do it all the time. When you put together your meal, you're literally planning your meal. When you're writing shopping list and you're like, I need chicken, I need eggs, I need turkey dinosaurs, wherever it is, potatoes, you are literally in your mind creating that meal plan. But that doesn't necessarily mean A, that you're going to eat those foods, or B, that they'll get you the results. So in this webinar, I'm going to teach you why it always feels like it's really, really hard. When you have to eat healthy meals, it feels way harder than it should. I'm also going to teach you why it's not your fault. By the end of today, you will know exactly what's been holding you back, and then you're going to be ready for tomorrow's game changer. I'm going to give you a couple of apps/websites today, and then we're going to amplify it tomorrow. But definitely utilize some of these ones in today's webinar as well. So for those of you who don't know me, maybe you're thinking, well, who the hell are you? Why should I listen to you? My name is Faye, and I am the founder and CEO of This Is Coaching. Together, me and my team have coached over 500 people, mostly women, but a couple of lads in there as well, Tony, isn't it? To improve their health, to look, feel, and perform at their best. Not just lose weight, but actually build the life that creates the experiences that they want to have. No missing out on times with their family, no missing out on doing those things that you really want to do, and no more wasting time feeling smaller and hiding yourself. Our goal is to help everybody optimize their bodies so they can live the life that they want. I've got something to admit. I have let me, first of all, in case you don't know, my partner's name is Cam. He also runs the business with me. And then we've got another coach, Shelby. But the thing I need to admit is I have now banned Cam from Netflix. He is now not allowed to be on Netflix. Jenna, don't look sorry for him. He's not allowed. And it's because a few months ago, me and Cam were sitting down. We were like, we're going to take away. And we were in Mexico at the time. So we're in Mexico. We're in this like big bed. He'd hurt his leg. So we were just like sitting in bed. Put on Netflix on the TV. I had gone out, got a takeaway, and brought it back. And this is going to be like our little date. So sitting there now, and I put out all the food, and he's like flicking through Netflix, flicking through. I'm like, oh, I'll just start with the starters or the sides or whatever. He's flicking through. He's like, should we watch this? I'm like, if you want to. What about this? If you want to. And I was like, what about that? He's like, maybe we'll come back to it. There I am, still like nibbling away. And literally, by the time he had chosen something, I'd eaten the majority of my food. And I'm like, well, I finished now. Like, I don't really want to watch it. I wanted to watch it at the same time. I wanted to like have this kind of experience. Anyone else done that? Where you're like, you scroll for so long on Netflix or Disney or Hulu or wherever you've got that you're like, oh, well, I've spent like an hour just watching the bloody options. And it can feel so overwhelming that we've got all these choices that we actually don't end up watching anything, or we just go back to what we know we like, right? Claire takes longer with kids. I can only imagine. I can only imagine, especially if they don't watch the same thing, right? I want to watch this. I want to watch this. No, no, no. It's my time. My turn, But it's so frustrating. It just takes over your life, takes over your evenings. So this is one of the biggest problems that happens with meal planning is that you have decision fatigue. So your brain literally makes thousands of decisions every single day. Actually, 35,000 plus. So let's think of some examples, right? Like, shall I hit snooze? What shall I wear? How can I not roll my eyes at that stupid comment when you're in work, right? You need to keep the straight face. So even if you just go through your morning, you're like, shall I hit snooze? Yes, no. Shall I brush my teeth before or after breakfast? Shall I even have breakfast? What shall I have for breakfast? Shall I use mouthwash this morning? Shall I shower or shall I have a bath? There's all these decisions, right? What shall I wear? What should I do my makeup like? What should I do my hair like? What's the weather like? You make all these decisions throughout the day. So when you start the day, maybe you're like, I'm going to do really well today. I'm going to be really good. You choose a good breakfast, you choose a healthy snack, you take your lunch to work, but you come home and then you're like, I don't know what I want. And your partner says, Jess, what are you on for dinner? And you're like, I don't care, Neil, wherever you want. Or your partner says to you, Sam, shall we go out for dinner tonight? And you're like, yeah. And he says, where? And you're like, I don't know. Right? And you end up like scrolling through Google Maps, looking where to go. And you either end up going to where you always go, or you end up just staying in and I go, fuck it. I'll get a takeaway. It's the same. The fact is like it's the same problem when you come home and you're like, what should I have to eat? You've made so many decisions throughout the day. And if you've got a busy job, a stressful job where you have to make a lot of decisions, if you've got kids, obviously you're making a lot of their decisions for them, depending on their age. I appreciate that. But when it comes to the nighttime, your bank of decisions has basically run dry. So what do? Go without. So well, I laugh, but some people do. But actually, what happens is that your brain now goes on autopilot. So it'll go by the path of least resistance. So wherever's the quickest, you just grab something that's you chuck in the oven and it's done, like a pizza, or you make a sandwich. Yeah, Claire says you can't balance the macros usually. Yeah, when you're at this point, you haven't got any decisions. You haven't got any mental capacity to make those decisions. So you've got the path of least resistance, even if it's not the best option, you're like, oh well, it's quick and easy. I'll just have that. Right? How many of us have said that before? You get home from a late day at work, you're like, oh whatever, I'll just suck it up. Or you go through ingrained habits. We're all deeply wired to have certain routines, behaviors, habits. And when you're not conscious, you will automatically make those old decisions. Has anyone ever driven in a car and ended up where they need to be and thought, how the fuck did I get here? Like you haven't like consciously made the decision, I need to turn left here and then I need to turn right. You just like maybe you're following the sat nav or you're going to your parents, you've been there all the time, you know which way to go. Like, what the hell? How did I get here? So all of that is ingrained routines. Other routines might be every Friday you have chips or fries if you're in America, fish and fries, fish and chips. Maybe every Sunday you have a Sunday dinner. Very British I'm speaking today. Apologies to the Americans. Or maybe it is every time I have a cup of tea, I have a bit of chocolate. Again, very British. I got one for the Americans. The second I wake up, I guzzle a 8 ounce cup of coffee. There you go. I got one. Got one for you. So those ingrained habits, or Taco Tuesday, yeah, Sam knows, Sam knows. Those ingrained habits will always bypass anything intentional if you haven't got the decision capacity to choose otherwise. Tony's like, now I get it. Yeah, now I can relate. The coffee, the coffee. The other option is that your brain goes to subconscious programming. Now, this is something very interesting that the majority of programs or plans and stuff won't work with, won't even think about. And this is that your body or your brain will now go into its it's reptilian brain. So you've got your prefrontal cortex, which is the front of your brain, that makes all the decisions. But when that part of your brain is tired, It's like, okay, let's go into how we feel, the amygdala, right? Into your subconscious. And if you are telling yourself all the time, I'm fat, I can't do this, I hate healthy food, this is disgusting, I can't do this properly, or I'm a failure, I always quit, guess what's going to happen? Your brain is going to be like, oh, you're fat. Well, what do fat people eat? Not the apple and not the salad. They eat the shit, right? Or it will say, oh, you say you always fail? Okay, let's make that true. Because your brain doesn't like to be wrong. It's like arguing with a toddler, right? Like, they do not want to be wrong. So they will fight until they are right. And they will make sure, your brain that is, will make sure that everything you've said is proven correct. So if you're telling yourself, I can't do, I always fail, I struggle with, your brain's going to go, let's make that happen. Unless you've got the capacity to make the decisions to override that. So when we're looking at the Netflix situation, the path of least resistance is, yeah, I'll watch something. What do you want to watch? Whatever you want to watch, just choose something, right? How many of us have done that? Can't be bothered. Just you choose. You just decide. I don't want the responsibility right now. I don't want to be blamed for shit. The ingrained habits would be, well, we always watch Grey's Anatomy. I've never seen that in my life. I don't know where that's come from. But we always watch Grey's Anatomy, so let's just watch that. Or Friends. People, I don't like that either, to be honest. But lots of people like Friends. Jess is like, no. That's what people will rewatch over and over and over. Or the subconscious programming is like, if you always joke with people like, oh, I only watch trash TV, ha ha ha, right? And then what you're going to watch is probably going to be some trash TV, like, oh, I'm going to slate someone, I'm going to slate someone's like decisions here, but like Married at First Sight, right? Yes, Jess, I know. I'm like, yeah, I do like that as well, but it is trash, and let's be honest, like I'm not learning anything from it apart from the little psychology parts. But this is literally what happens. You can see it happening in Netflix. You can see it with going out for food. You could see it with your decisions around food as well. So it's really important that you understand that when you are making decisions on the fly, at the end of the day, when you haven't planned in advance, you're like, oh, fuck, now what am I going to have to eat? You're already stressed out because that person you decided not to roll their eyes at was there again at the meeting, saying some other stupid shit. Now your body's like, doesn't know what to do. Your brain is like, let's just, you know, go into overdrive. Let's go back to subconscious reprogramming or subconscious programming. So it is not your fault that by 6 p.m. you're binging a massive sleeve of Oreos and you're in the pantry. I want you to remember this because, who was it in the comments? It was Claire. Like when Claire says in the comments, I plan the morning before all of the decisions, all the time, which means that by the time 6 o'clock comes, she already knows what she's having. She doesn't have to make decisions. Now, what about meal planning? Why not do it? People are like, I haven't got the time. That's the number one, I think. Problem number one, I haven't got the time. But if I asked you to block out 30 minutes of the day for you, you'd be like, for me? Are you freaking joking? You think I've got 30 minutes for me? No, I've got to drop my partner off. I've got to take the kids there. I've got to see my friend. And then I told my mother I'd drop off a prescription. And then I would do this. And then I do that. And then I got to work. And then obviously I've got to get my 5K running. And then I got to get my 10,000 steps. And I got to get my gym. And I got to actually drink water as well, mind. But if I had said to you, if you got 30 minutes, I need you to come help me do something, the majority of you that like me would probably have found the 30 minutes for me to come and help, to come and help me do whatever I needed. So if your work calendar is full and then your home calendar is full, your brain calendar is full and overflowing. There's too much stuff and something has to give. And the majority of my clients, and actually, I'll share a story. One of our clients, I was on a call with her today, and she said, before I joined the program, I would have thought taking time to myself was selfish. And now I know it is necessary. I know that because I want to shower first so I can get the kids ready after that. Instead of being like, oh, yeah, you can go first to my husband, or you can go first to the kids. And then she's rushing, trying to do everything else. She now says, I'm going to go in first. She draws that boundary and she does that. And then everything else falls into place. The problem is the majority of us feel like it is selfish to put ourselves first, to take time to ourselves, and that we should feel guilty for putting ourselves and our needs before others. But when it comes to meal planning, when it comes to training, when it comes to your health, they are always the first things to go in your calendar. The majority of people, if I said to you, can you come help? You'd be like, oh, yeah, or your mum or your sister or your work says, can you do an extra shift or can you take on this project? You're like, yeah, I can do that. I don't need to go to the gym or eat or go shopping. It's fine. Yeah, I can do that for you. And we put everyone else first. But the irony is, if we stayed consistent with our training and our nutrition, we'd have more energy, better focus, and more capacity to make more decisions on everything else. But right now, meal planning feels like another job. And you haven't got time for another job. You're already working like 3 full-time overtime jobs. Claire says it took me until 3 years ago to change that mindset. Then it went to shit when I started teaching. Yeah, you can't, especially when you're teaching, right? You have to be there mentally for everybody else. You have to put yourself first because now you're not impacting just one person, which is you. You're impacting all of your students as well. You have to be there to care for them and make sure, obviously, nothing happens. You have to safeguard them as well. So the second problem is not knowing what to eat. Everyone's like, Faye, I heard that keto was good. I heard that carnivore was good. I heard that vegan was good. I heard that 1,200 calories was good. I heard that no carbs is good. I was like, this. And so, because you are the kind of person that wants to learn and wants to do everything yourself, I love that you're independent, but you want to keep learning, you actually end up paralyzed. You end up not doing anything and you go back to reverting back to all those three choices that I said to you earlier. You freeze and do nothing. And your Instagram feed is a battleground of contradictory nutrition advice. I see people all the time arguing. I'm like, I don't want to, I don't want to engage with this. Like, you do you, hun. Leave me out of it. But these girls, typically that we're all following, like, oh, I wish I had a body like her. That girl is in her 20s. She has like no stress. She's got roaring metabolism. Her hormones are on point, right? And she's never been fat in her life. She doesn't know the struggle. She hasn't got stress. Her biggest stress is like, when's my next nail routine? Like, when's my next nail appointment? Like, shit, got a snap to on here. Whereas you, people like us, maybe you run a business, maybe you've got a stressful job, maybe you're trying to run the household, maybe your partner's damaged their leg and you have to look after them full time, maybe you've got kids. Like, there's all these other problems that we've got in our lives that people like that don't have. So when they're saying, just do loads of HIIT, it's fine. And they like flick their lovely hair, bitches. We don't have that way of life. We don't have that metabolism. We don't have that flexibility to get away with shit. When you're that age, you can get drunk all weekend, not eat on Monday, and feel fantastic for the rest of the week until you do it again on the weekend. When we drink, I'm looking at Claire here, you feel like crap for like 5 days. You want to eat everything under the sun. And then you're like, I'm never drinking again. I've got a client like this as well, actually. I'm never drinking again. And next weekend, the same thing happens. So we have not got that body like that person has. We need to think about that as well. And number three, boredom. This one really grinds my gears. This is a very unpopular opinion. But people are always like, I just didn't fancy it when I got home. And I'm like, tough shit. Like, it's tough if you don't like it. If it is what you planned, let's bear in mind if we have planned, if you know that you're supposed to have chicken teriyaki with rice and vegetable stir fry, and you're like, nah, I fancy burger and chips, burger and fries. Tough. Like at some point, you have to understand that food doesn't have to be exciting every time you eat. But I appreciate But lots of people don't feel that way. So I'm erring on this side for you today. I'm arguing the other side for you today. So if you eat the same four meals over and over and over, you're probably going to get bored after a while. And then like, oh, I'll have a takeaway. And you just eat crap for a long time because you've fallen off. It takes you forever to come back on. Like I said, I'm a firm believer you don't need to be excited about every single meal. But if you're not enjoying the meals that you've got, you're not going to follow the plan. Maybe your family's like, oh, chicken and broccoli again. I'm going to look like broccoli soon. Maybe you start seeing your meal prep tubs and you're like, oh, I hate you. You start like just resenting them, hope mold grows in them so you don't have to use them ever again. And maybe you see Deliveroo or Just Eat, what's the other one? Uber Eats, and like, oh, my savior. It glows like, oh. And you're like, yes, I'm going to do that. That's going to save me so much time, so much effort, so much energy. So you decide to do that. You don't feel like a failure. You feel like, thank God, I've got a bit of an excuse here. Get out of jail free card. Let's move on. Anyone feel any of those? One, two, and three. So you've got not knowing what to eat, no time, or boredom of food. One, two, or three. Let me know which is the most applicable to you. Marie says two. Three. Two, two. Interesting. Two, not knowing what to eat. All right, all right. Jana says three. Not knowing how to cook what I want to eat. Yeah, I don't know how to cook a full cow either, Tony. Okay, so some of you might have gone, do you know what? I'm going to just get someone else to decide what to eat for me. I'm going to download those what I eat in a day video, and I'm just going to eat that. And you're like, which one's got the most calories? Let me eat that one because she looks banging. I'm going to like, yeah, I'm going to eat those like 2,957 calories to the T. But they're not going to work for you because you were not her. They are written for her. And probably she doesn't normally eat like that anyway. But for this example, let's say she does, that's nothing to do with you. That's not going to work for Jess. That's not going to work for Marie. That's not going to work for Sam. That's not going to work for me. It's not going to work for Tony, Leo. It's not going to work for everybody. It will work for some of you. I gotta be honest. But the majority of it won't. So you're going to waste time, get frustrated, and then bounce back. You're going to be stuck in this cycle again. And every time you do this cycle, your mental health goes, I don't believe in myself anymore. Maybe those people are right about me. Everyone's judging me. Oh, I don't know if I could do this. And your self-belief gets chipped away every single time. So we don't be doing that. These people that are doing them don't have your lifestyle, metabolism, or hormones. We need to consider all of these things. You can't just pluck out a random meal plan and be like, this is going to work, because chances are I won't. Also, let's look at an example. And this is about calorie calculators as well, okay? Because I know a lot of people say, I'm just going to use a calorie calculator, especially when you don't know what to eat. So some of you said that's the thing, you don't know what to eat. Why calorie calculators don't work is like, look at these two women, right? Let's say woman A and woman B, they're both 5'8". I don't care, right? They're both the same height. They're both the same weight. They're both 180 pounds, let's say. Now, and they're both 52. They both got the same job. They both walk exactly the same amount of steps. Like everything's literally the same in their lifestyle. But woman A has gone through menopause. She's now insulin resistant. Woman B isn't even hit perimenopause yet, even though she's 52. She's very lucky. And she's got a healthy insulin response. Woman A, 37% body fat. Woman B, 24% body fat, which means that woman B's got higher muscle mass because they're the same weight. Woman A, low carb threshold. Woman B can tolerate carbs. Woman A has got thyroid issues and IBS. Woman B, she's breezing through life. She's got no medical problems. Woman A's got super, super stressful life. Woman B, stress is manageable. So you can see everything is similar. Everything is like literally exactly the same, accept the details, accept the hormones, accept the lifestyle, accept the metabolism. So when you're going into a calorie calculator and they're saying to you, well, you just put in your height and weight and age and activity level, and we'll throw out a number for you. These two women would have exactly the same number. Their needs are very, very different. The woman that is woman B would need more calories, for example. Woman A would need less carbs. Woman A would probably need a tweak of carbs actually because her stress is very high, so she'd need the carbs to help with that. Maybe she's looking at HRT or maybe she's using it. We need to know all these details. This is why calorie calculators don't work. It's why meal plans don't work, typically. Typically. I'm going to show you how to change all that for you. Does this make sense, guys? Are we tracking? Let me open the grid so I can see everybody. Yeah? Fab. Thank you for your thumbs up. Okay. Fab. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's go. So I, myself, have tried everything. In fact, so have most of my clients across the years because I've used it and then gone, this is a good idea. And then as my knowledge has developed, I've kind of like changed things. So for example, one of my old clients, Gemma, like this is how we used to do her nutrition, right? So we'd have this spreadsheet, which was which had all the net, it had the goal, it had the average, it had this like chart that was created. I'm not going to give you this because you don't need it, right? But every day she'd have to put in her foods or she's eaten. And this is how we'd measure progress, how close she is to nutrition, then we tweak her. Then I was like, do you know what? This is a bit hard to like track across the weeks, across the months. So there's like a brand new spreadsheet with loads of different what are these called? Functions and everything in them. Let's do like all these cool things. So we've got date, weight, time of weighing, carbs, fats, protein, total calories. Then we look at things like steps, cardio, training sessions, hunger, sauna, sleep, all of these different pieces of information to help us go from just calories to actually what matters. Lots of all these other things, right? Maybe you're eating 1,600 calories, but you're starving. We had this conversation last night with Sam. So I've tried everything myself and through clients. So and I've also tried other things. I call it stupid shit, right? I shouldn't say that really. But I've also tried other things like Weight Watchers and Slimming World and keto and low carb and all of the, fasting, you name it, I've probably tried it. So here are some of the things that I have used in the past and some things that I actually still recommend to clients. So this is where you guys can grab some notes and start having a think. So traditional pen and paper. This is the simplest thing you can do. You just write it down. You write a shopping list. You say I'm going to have X, Y, and Z. You put your shopping list next to it, right? No tech. You don't have to think, oh, I need to get this app or you need to go to the website. No, just a pen and paper. If you've got those two things, you're good. It's a tangible and visible reminder because it's like maybe you put it in the fridge or you put it, I don't know, next to your kettle, something you're going to look at often. When you write things, it's been shown that your brain will absorb it more. So if you're learning, quick side tangent here, if you're learning something or if you've got, just let someone in here, if you've got a test coming up, write 2 notes instead of just reading them and typing them, and you will learn them better. Marie has a little whiteboard with the days of the week and the grid for each meal to complete. Great when I fully complete it and stick to it. Exactly, yeah. Sam does the same. Yeah, having those whiteboards are really, really good. But like you say, if you complete it and if you stick to it, 2 different things. But it's not knowing what to eat or put on it exactly. So we're going to help you. Don't worry. I've got you. I've got you. So yeah, writing is going to improve that. And then there's no subscriptions. You don't have to pay for this and you don't have to learn anything. Except it is quite time consuming to create because like Marie says, you have to think about what to put on and you have to like, oh, is that right? And you have to be the expert in this. If you're in the middle of the week and you're like, actually, I don't really want that, or I need to change this. My chicken's gone out if I left it out instead of putting it in the fridge. And now I need to adapt it. You now have to kind of rethink tweak the rest of the week, which is harder when you've got pen and paper. Whiteboard a bit easier, but pen and paper can't be having these scribbles, guys. Can't be having this mess on a piece of paper. I know a lot of you are very similar. Easily lost or forgotten. Anyone lost a piece of paper ever? Sam's smiling. She's like, yeah, that's me. Anyone lost a piece of paper ever? Yeah, all the time. I think I've got loads of notebooks. I don't know what's in which one. There's no nutritional calculations. So this isn't going to give you a total. You have to like manually add them up. And it also requires you to learn how to read the nutritional value, on the back of the foods, on the packs. You've got to learn how to use those, how to read them, and then translate them into your weekly meal plan. So this is the most simple, but it also has cons, it also has negatives. But that could be a good place to start. Number 2, now this is my favorite, right? Apart from what I'm about to show you. But even my clients, even if I've got brand new clients that have started last week, I know some of them are going to be watching this on the replay. What I'm going to show you, yes, we can get to, but first you need to do this. And this is important for everybody. I would say 99.99999% of our clients use myfitnesspal. There are other things you can use like Chronometer, I think is one, and Lose It. And there's different apps. We use myfitnesspal because it links to our app, our coaching app, so we can literally pull the information straight through. I never advise paying for it. Some people like to, I don't. I think there's better things you can spend your money on. But generally, the pros are detailed nutrition tracking. You can track exactly what you eat, and it's much quicker. There's a huge food database, so what you've eaten is probably in there, right? And if it's not, you can add it in yourself. It increases your awareness of what you're eating. This is the most important thing. All of our clients can now adjust what they need to eat based on what they've eaten through the day. So let's say Sam has got her breakfast, lunch, and dinner and a snack in. And then someone comes in with lunch and they're like, oh, it's Tuesday, we're going to bring tacos in for you today. Lucky you, Sam. So they brought the tacos in and she's like, oh, shit. I haven't like planned that to come in. So now, because she's got the nutritional knowledge, she can now just make the tweaks for the rest of the day and it'll fill out. She'll know she'll still hit the calories. She'll know she'll still hit the macros at the end of the day. And it's established and reliable. In fact, when I speak to, there we go, Claire's currently got her open, making a cottage pie. When I speak to experts like Alan Aragon, he's one of the most well-respected researchers on hypertrophy, on nutrition and physique in the world. When I spoke to him recently, we were talking about this, and he was like, when we do experiments, that's not the right word, is it? When we do research with people, with groups of people, this is exactly how we do it. We get them to learn this way, we get them to track their food. So this is almost the gold standard. In reality, for normal people like us, it's probably the best thing you can do until I show you what we're going to do. But the cons are, it's quite outdated actually, the way it looks. Like it's not a very pretty app, I wouldn't necessarily say. It requires every food choice from you. So you can have that Netflix effect where you're like, oh, I just don't know what to have. Maybe Marie, that's what you do. You're like, I just don't know what to have. I don't know what to have. I just need, more direction. It's time consuming and for the data entry, although there are definitely hacks that our clients use and that we teach that speed this up. Most people make this mistake, which is they focus on tracking their food, what they've eaten, or what they're mid-bite on, versus planning. All of our clients plan, or they should be anyway. Hope I'm seeing some nods there. So they should be planning and not tracking. And also, how many of us have been on to myfitnesspal? You've said, yeah, I want to lose 2 pounds a week. You put your data in, it says 1,200 calories. Like that seems to be like the number that it pretty much gives to everybody. Now, this is myfitnesspal. So for anyone that is watching, has never used it, this is what the web version looks like. You can have the app version, which I think personally is easier to use. But you can put these in. So normally it says breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think I've added in snacks, and I've also added in a pre and post workout. So you would literally go in and add food. So obviously this is today, so it should be filled out, but let's pretend it's tomorrow. So then you just put in, like literally I scanned that. There's a barcode scanner. I scanned it. This is my protein wrap. I put that in. Okay, great. Add. Now I know for today, I've eaten 392 calories. It's 42 grams of carbs, 14 grams of fat, 22 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber. I don't concentrate too much on sodium, especially at the beginning. But these numbers here are really important. Then maybe for lunch, you have chicken. So, oops, so you literally put in there chicken breast. Okay. And let's say let's say we don't use a medium, right? This is like just a random tip here. Never use like a medium. Always use the weight. So let's say you use this one. We're going to grill it, right? Then you can change this serving, what would you call it? Serving, this one, I guess, to grams. And let's say it's 200 grams. So you'd say 200 of 1 gram. Nutritional info. Yes. Okay, whatever. Okay. And so that one shows that we've eaten 352 calories of chicken breast, 11 grams of fat, almost 60 grams of protein. And again, we're not looking at sodium right now. But you can see at the bottom, this is going to give us a total as we go through the day, which means that we're going to hit our protein, we're going to hit our fat, we're going to hit our carbs, we're going to stay within our calories. So this is really important. I would say not to connect your Garmin or your Fitbit or anything with this because it screws up the amount. Like we don't need to think about the calories that we burn right now. We just need to concentrate on the calories that we eat. So as you go through that, you start to build this plan out. Then, like I say, there are things that you can do like copy and paste them. Maybe it's here. Yeah, like I could just copy yesterday. There's nothing in from yesterday, so I won't. But you can copy yesterday and just put it in, and then you could say, well, it's the same as yesterday, but I had eggs instead of this wrap for breakfast, whatever. And you just delete it by clicking that, or you tweak it. So that is MyFitnessPal in a very quick overview. I would say everybody should go through a phase of this, not even to hit goals, but to learn about the foods. So you know that chicken is protein. You know that this wrap is protein and carbs. It's mostly carbs actually because it's a wrap. So you know that nuts are actually fat sources, not protein sources. So you get to learn about the nutritional value of food. And then when someone does bring in the tacos on Tuesday, or someone does bring in some cake, you can just make small adjustments because you've got the knowledge behind you. So there's that. I've got a little side note here that the input needs to be correct. With MyFitnessPal, I could add something, Sam could add something. Let's say we add in a chocolate bar, right? Let's say we add in some potatoes because Sam loves potatoes. We've got some Mary Piper potatoes, and Sam's like, "Oh, this kilogram of potatoes have got 10 calories in. Like that means I can eat like 100 kilograms of potatoes." So she puts that in, and then I come along and I'm like, "Wow, I'm going to eat like half a kilogram of potatoes today, 500 grams. Oh, it's only got 5 calories in. Huh, that's weird." So even though it hasn't, right, it's got way more calories than 10 in a kilogram. But because Sam has put it in wrong, that means I could choose the incorrect piece of information. So just be wary. Again, like look down the line, the list, and be like, okay, what is realistic? So if we put in like potatoes, potatoes with an E, potato. Then you can see like one potato. Again, we don't love one. We like or like one medium, we like 50 grams or 100 grams. But you can see roughly mash also I wouldn't use. But you could use like a boiled potato is 144, 164. There 100 grams is 86. So you can kind of like look roughly what the average is, and you could just choose one in the middle. If you saw one that said 6 calories, you'd know it was wrong. If you saw one that said it was 800 calories, you'd also know it was wrong. But it's somewhere between 150 and 200 calories by the looks of things. Okay, hope that makes sense. The next tool Who's used MyFitnessPal? Pop it in the chat if you've used it. I have. Yep, cool. Sam, Jess, Jenna, all of them. Tony, yes, yes. Okay, cool. Lorna, of course. Every week. I was toying with like, I was like, shall I go into the friends into when I'm live on this call and she'd be like, Sam's put all of hers in this week. And I was like, I bet she hasn't. Like the one week that I recorded this and I haven't checked, but I'm sure you have, Sam. So yeah, all of you guys in the chat have used it. Okay, and now there's this other tool. It's called Eat This Much. Has anyone heard of this? I've mentioned it before to clients. We don't use it very much. Okay, no, says Jazz. It's quick but very generic. Oh, look, you're all going to learn a new website then. So, what it does is it can create quick plans and it can include shopping lists. So you create your plan and then you're like, oh, now I know what to buy. It automatically calculates macros and it can suggest recipes based on preferences. So I don't love recipes. I think people should learn how to build a plate before they create recipes. But if you're a little bit more advanced, then this could work for you. The cons are limited personalization, generic defaults based on averages. Again, is the uh, accuracy of the information. There's no adaptation to hormonal cycles. So if with some of our clients, we change their macros due to their period, we change their calories with their period. If they've got PCOS, we might change a couple of things. If they've got training, if they're training for something like Jess is training for the London Marathon, we change it. But it's not going to do that for you. You have to manually do that. And it's also going to suggest some unrealistic recipes. So like, hell do you get that? What the hell is like some food on there? I'm like, I've never eaten that in my life. But that doesn't say much because I've got quite a 2-year-old toddler taste buds. It also doesn't account for your schedule. So if you work late on a Thursday, maybe you teach a class on a Thursday evening or something, you work late, you've got a meeting coming in last minute, then that's not going to count for it, and you still need to eat whatever it's told you to. So I've got it here to show you. The good thing is, if you are on a specific diet, keto, Mediterranean, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, this can be quite helpful to give you some ideas. Again, this is not close to what I'm going to show you tomorrow. This is not even like a lick, not even a lick of how advanced the next thing is. I say advanced, not for us, but for the output. So let's say you're on a Mediterranean diet and you're supposed to be eating, I don't know, 1,600 calories. Again, you need to know the calories that you're supposed to be eating in this as well. Maybe you're going to have like 3 meals and a snack, create a free account. I should have signed in. But basically, what you can do is like tweak this. So you could say I need 140 grams of carbs, 50 grams of fat, and 140 grams of protein, because I don't know where they got these numbers from. Then it will regenerate these. So here you go. This is 1,608 calories, 106 grams of carbs, 110 grams of protein, and 89 grams of fat. This is a very high fat diet, but the Mediterranean diet is. So it's like honey avocado smoothie, butter toast, paleo avocado tuna salad, yogurt, pesto, and some sort of beans, grilled chicken, avocado, mango salad, and sea salt edamame. But maybe you don't like bread because you're weird. So you can just replace this and you can have yogurts instead. When that changes, this will also change. Now it's 116 grams of protein and 85 grams of fat. And the carbs have gone down as well. If you don't like avocado smoothie or yogurt, you can click this one and it'll redo the whole breakfast for you. Savory crepes. Who doesn't like crepes? So you can see this has changed again. It will kind of keep them close to the original goal, but Um, it will go up and down, between 5 and 10 grams, I assume. But if you do want a specific diet, this can be very helpful. Does this make sense, guys? Does it look like something you could use? If you want recipes, like this could be a good way to do it. Again, I prefer people just to have a plate with the food on, but if you want to do something like this, you could just keep tweaking. 251 calories, 245. Cinnamon flax shake, the these shakes. Cool. I might have a look, but I like myfitnesspal. Yes, I do as well. But again, if you are like, oh, ideas, then you could use something like this. And it is pretty much free. I don't know what the more expensive one does if you've got pay, but the free one you can actually change the macros as well. So that can be helpful. I have used it before and it has struggled with getting high protein. It's kind of stops at like 120 for some reason, and it really does struggle after that. So maybe it depends on the amount of calories you've got. My question is, how do we compute those baseline numbers so we know what our daily macros should be? Well, with our clients, they know exactly what they should be eating. Exactly. There's no room for error. But if you don't know, you can message us, like message me or Cam or Shelby, and we can do your macro assessment and we can figure that out, help you figure that out anyway. So you could just do that. And then we can give you the ideas. But again, lots of people, if you ask this online or Facebook and stuff, because I'm in a lot of groups, they'd be like, use a calculator. And I'm like, don't use a fucking calculator. Oh my God. We don't need to use a calculator, okay? Wildly inaccurate. And we already know why, because I've talked you through it. But Erin, you can just message one of us with the word macros or something, and we should know what you're talking about. Hopefully that can help you. Okay. And then I've got this like really quick comparison for you if you want to see an overview, speed, personalization, flexibility, hormonal awareness, and learning curve. So none of them have got hormonal awareness, none of them, which is why obviously like, having someone that has got that knowledge behind you is important, but you knowing yourself is even more important. You knowing my period's coming up, or I've got menopausal symptoms, or whatever. I've got really high cortisol levels at the minute. I'm really, really stressed. That is important to know so you can make the changes. And then learning curve, like there's no learning curve for pen and paper, but obviously with myfitnesspal, it is a lot more learning, but it's the investment that you make in that energy and that time to learn the output for the rest of your life. So overall, the industry has left ambitious women with subpar solutions. Like none of these have got tick, 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 tick down the whole thing, right? Eat This Much has maybe got the best, I would say, but the results, myfitnesspal, I would argue, is the best. But they don't respect your time or your physiology. They just tell you to eat X, Y, and Z. Or they leave you with too much and you've got this Netflix effect. So why planning feels like a chore is because it's time. You feel like you've got the time. There's a knowledge gap. There's too much contradictory information that leaves you paralyzed, analysis paralysis. There's generic tools that don't give you advice on what you need yourself. And you get bored. When you get bored, you quit, especially if you've got some sort of neurodivergence like ADHD. You need that dopamine hit all the time. You need that change. Eating the same thing day in, day out is going to be boring. My old coach, she's lovely. Like we still talk and everything. We were talking the other day. But when she went to Florida recently, she literally tried to eat her same meal plan that she eats at home in Florida. She was like eating boiled eggs, like taking boiled eggs around with her and carrot. I was like, no, give me the donuts. Like I want to enjoy myself. Feed me the donuts and the burgers. So it's not that you can't plan meals, it's that you've got so many things going against you, right? And I really want you to take this away tonight as we kind of wrap up here. It's not that you can't do, you absolutely can do, but there are going to be some things that are going to make it more difficult, make you feel like you're going to fall off, And there's going to be some things that you need to pick up, you need to learn. And the way I say things, right, is with everything in life, I haven't yet found an outlier of this. There's a triangle, and you can either have things done two of the three things: quick, well, or cheap. So normally, if something's cheap and well done, it just takes forever. If something's done cheap and is quick, it's normally crap quality. And if it is, oh God, if it is quick and done well, it's probably very expensive, right? So when it comes to things like this, that's what you need to think about. Like you can learn all this stuff yourself. Definitely gonna take a while, like I did. It took forever. But what I'm going to show you tomorrow might just change all that. So tomorrow is the solution that you have been waiting for. The fast, personalized, feels made for you plan in just minutes. And like I said earlier, I haven't seen anybody teaching this yet. I'm sure it's going to catch up. I'm sure. But this is something I've been looking into for different aspects of the business. And I thought, oh my God, this has made life so much easier. How can I make my clients' life so much easier? So I'm going to share it with all of you tomorrow. I'm going to reveal the exact strategy that's going to help busy professional women just like you save at least 5 hours a week, which is a ton of time, while eating better than ever without sacrificing career, social life, or sanity. Because we want all of those, right? We want a career, we want a social life, and preferably our sanity. But maybe that's another triangle. We have to choose two or three of those. You can't have all three. So I hope this makes sense, guys. Does anyone have any questions? I know I've taken up, we've just hit the hour mark actually, so we're in good timing. Usually I run well over. But does anyone have any questions? Not sure we're back tomorrow in time, so may have to watch later. No probs. Look forward to tomorrow. Fab. Yeah, so tonight when I have uploaded this, I'll send it out on the replay. Tomorrow, there is going to be a password that I'm going to say in the webinar. The password will unlock an opportunity only if you know the password. You can still get it on the replay, but the replays are available for 48 hours. Just a heads up there. So book it in. Book it into your busy calendar. Maybe you can watch it when you're in the bath or something. I don't know. If you want to see me while you're in the bath, you do you. No worries, Tony. We will get it. All clients will have this replay indefinitely. So you guys don't need to worry about the 48-hour thing. I'll put it into the vault and you guys can have access to that, no problem. No one's got any questions. I have done an awesome job then. This is great. I love it when that happens. Anyone got any questions? Everyone's like, I want to lose weight. I don't know what to do. Now you've got an opportunity. Anyone's got any questions? Fine. That's cool. Okay, so tomorrow at the same time, same place, same Zoom. It's going to be the same link. I'll send this in the replay tonight. Tomorrow, the same thing. Get another link. We'll get the replay up to you tomorrow. In the meantime, if you've got any questions, let me know. And that's it. Have a fantastic evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Bye, guys.